Hi everyone, and welcome to the IBM Events mobile app tutorial for IBM Amplify. The first thing we have to do if we're going to use this mobile app is we have to download it. So we're going to go to our device's app store. We're going to be using iOS for the purpose of this demo, but imagine that this is your Android device or Windows device. It could be any of these things. You're going to search IBM Events in your app store's listing. And the first pulled up item should be the black icon with the 8-bar IBM Events mobile app by Event-Based Technology. You're going to click that and you can download it. It is not available through the Mass 360 store or any IBM stores themselves. You're going to want to download this from your device's app store. Then we're going to pull up the app itself, and this is what we call a container app. What that means is we actually house multiple events within the app itself. This allows users to download one app and not have to carry multiple ones if they attend multiple IBM events. So you'll notice we have a bunch of different events listed. We're going to go with Amplify here, and when we go to log into Amplify, we're going to click in, and it looks like I'm having a slight problem here with my touch panel. I've been having that on my iPhone. And when I log into my account, I'm going to once again use my registration email address as my username. And then for my password, I'm going to go all caps, my confirmation number. And then we're going to get prompted to log in, and that's going to bring you to a profile screen, and that's where we're going to go next. We're going to fill out and finish our profile, and we are going to do this together. So you're going to click into View My Profile just below your name, and you have a couple of options here. There's a direct message opt-in feature, which allows you to receive messages from other attendees. You can turn that on or off. This also gets you into the attendee list, and then you can edit your profile. You can do this a couple of ways. You can edit it manually, in which case you enter the Edit Manually button where you can enter all of this information about yourself, or you can enter it using the LinkedIn API. And this is going to bring up a quick LinkedIn login screen, which is going to grab a little bit of information from your LinkedIn profile so it stays persistent across your events profile. That's going to populate your picture, if you choose to have one, your biography, and all this other information. Then from there, we're going to want to add some tags to our profile. This is going to help us a little later when we go through and start to network with other attendees. So I'm going to, let's say, choose customer experience. I'm a digital marketing manager, and I'm interested in IBM Digital Analytics. I can save those, and then the tags become associated with my account. Those are going to help us a little bit later. Then, if we want to change any settings regarding opt-ins, we are going to go ahead and choose that setting cogwheel. And using that setting cogwheel, we will be able to opt in for the attendee list, which gives us the ability to see all of the people, all of the attendees at the event, allow direct messages from other attendees, as we mentioned, and enable location alerts. And location alerts are going to be a big part of IBM Amplify 2016, which we're really excited for. Any messages that you get from other attendees are going to appear in your inbox here, and any notes that you create, which we'll go into a little bit more, will appear over to the left in the notes section. And again, if you have any questions, please do hold them until the end, and then we'll open up the meeting stream and people can ask questions through that channel. The first thing we're going to want to do after we've filled out our schedules, we're going to add, or filled out our profiles, we're going to want to add some sessions to our schedule. That's the number one reason why we're here. So to do that, below My Event, you're going to go to the event guide, and you're going to click into the schedule. And then we're going to see the 3 days that the conference is active, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I can click into any sessions that I want. Monday, we obviously have Business Partner Day here. But for Tuesday, we have the general session. And there's a couple of different ways in which we can add these sessions to our agenda. We can click the simple plus button there, and it will automatically add it to our agenda. And we'll figure out, or we'll go through where this comes in a little bit later. Or we can click in to learn a little bit more about the session before we go ahead and add it. So I'll just unadd that really quick. And then we can go through just all the information that kind of comes through. So in the general session, the Outthink Ordinary general session, theme of the conference here, it's going to give us a bunch of information. It's going to give us the time and place of the conference. That includes the time, so you can see if it fits into your schedule, and the location, so West Hall in the Tampa Convention Center. And then if you pull up that location, you can see anything else going on there. So we've got El King, and we've got the general session there as well. Then all of the speakers are going to show up. So if I wanted to learn more about the speakers in the event before I made a decision, I could go into that. Let's say I'm an IBM client and I've heard of Harriet Green, but I don't know too much about her. I can click into Harriet's profile, see what session she's speaking in, and see a description of her. If she includes her Twitter profile or any other social links, they will also appear here. I can see this for any of the speakers associated with the session. Below that, I'm going to see a brief description of the session itself. This is the session abstract that you would see in the normal schedule. And then any tags associated with it in terms of audience, categories, level, and then let's say this CSO audience, I wanted to see more CSO sessions. I can see all of them associated with it right in there. In addition to that, I can click into the streams. So consider this kind of a live chat room for the general session itself. If I'm in the session, I can type something like, wow, this content and announcement are amazing, or is amazing. And then click publish, and it will enter itself right into the stream. So it's kind of a live in-session chat room. So once I want to add it, I can click that plus button. If I want to follow a speaker, I can click the plus button on them as well. If I want to share any of this information socially, I'll click the share button, and I can share via Twitter, Facebook, SMS, email, or LinkedIn as well for that profile fill out. Now, once you've added a session to your agenda, you're going to want to know where it ends up, because if I add a session here and then I add another couple here, you don't know where they end up. They're still kind of all over the place. If you go back and look at my schedule, it saves it all in one place. So it's in one nice, neat little area. And the next big question we have that a lot of people get are, well, what exactly, can I add these? Can I add personal appointments? Can I add exec one-to-one meetings? Can I add other meetings to this? You can't add meetings directly to this tool. However, you can share those sessions directly with your personal calendar. So you just click add to my calendar and then done, and then it will sync with your personal calendar. Now, I will preface this with saying that we did find a bug this morning that's preventing that, but I expect that to be resolved within the next couple of hours. So again, all of your sessions are going to line up right in the My Schedule section. Going back into the schedule, obviously there's quite a lot of content, more than 300 sessions occurring here at IBM Amplify 2016. We're going to want to go through and filter some of this information. There's a couple of different ways to do this. The first and the most common that I would expect is for people to hit the hourglass in the upper right-hand corner of the app screen. And using this, I can search for anything that I could possibly want. I could want to find. So if I wanted to just search customer analytics, I could search and find anything going on there. I could search by product as well, like Silverpop. Then anything associated with Silverpop is going to appear right there. And so that's going to bring up just a free text search, and I can find anyone, speakers, exhibitors, sessions, anything associated. If I wanted to get more of a tailored view, let's say I know what I'm here for. I know that I'm a digital experience customer, and those are the sessions I want to focus on. I can go into the filter and then click category, then click into core curriculum, and then I can just click digital experience, and then all digital experience sessions I can search by, and then click done. And then all of the digital experience sessions associated with the conference are going to appear, and I can add them as I see fit. The other big thing that people like to search on is labs, because labs are obviously one of the most popular features of this event app. You need to add labs using the app because enrollment is limited. Just so you know, you can reset the filters just by clicking the reset button in the upper left-hand corner, and then I can search by scheduled lab, and then just go back and click done. You'll notice any of these lab sessions have a text box in the upper right-hand corner that says enrollment required. This means that we're going to need to enroll for that lab and reserve our space in the session, and we're going to need to make call out to make sure that there is space for us. So when we click the plus button here, it's going to give me a verification message asking if I'd like to enroll for a spot in the session. And when I click the enroll button, it'll make a dynamic call out to our database, and then it'll tell us whether or not we've been added, or if we're an IBMer, we will be automatically waitlisted for the session. You'll also notice that you can't enroll for two sessions at the same time because it creates a conflict. However, if you'd like to override the previous session that you had, you can hit the proceed button and it will unenroll you from that session and then re-add you to the other one. And again, all of these, both labs and non-labs, appear in my schedule. Moving into some of the other features of the app, you can see all of the speakers and all of their information right within the speaker section. You can once again search, free search for them, or you can just scroll down and find them by name. It is sorted alphabetically, and you can share socially about them right there. So that is the speaker profile. You'll also notice that if I add a speaker here, in addition to your schedule, adding any scheduled sessions you have, if you follow any speakers, they're going to appear right here under my schedule. In addition to that, any exhibitors or attendees or locations. In addition to that, if you want to share your schedule with somebody, you can click this upper right-hand button and choose to share your schedule via email, and then it'll send all of the information, and you can choose who to send it to in case anybody wants to attend some sessions that you want to. Or let's say your manager wants you to pick the sessions and send them to him, you can send all that information directly to him or her. So with that being said, we'll go into the exhibitor records. All of our exhibitors are located right in this exhibitor area, sorted by level. You'll notice we don't have IBMers yet, but we are working on putting them in right now. So any of the business partner exhibitors are currently available. And for any exhibitor that provided a logo, we'll be able to see the logo, know a little bit more about who they are, and a description for them and their website, along with their exhibitor level category. So that's an easy way to give exhibitors some value. And if I was interested in learning more about them, I can click Add to My Favorites. Then for attendees, if I want to add other attendees, you'll notice I added a couple of different session tags. We did this back in the profile section, and I did tease that there would be a payoff on this. We're going to see anybody who also clicked some tags that associated with me. And the more tags that you connect with, the higher they end up. So for Ahmad Rahman, we had a couple of tags in common. I can add him to my profile and learn a little bit more about him. In addition to that, I can look at all of the attendees and find people who maybe I am associated with, or maybe I might be interested in connecting with. And in addition to that, there's an Around Me function. And this is going to be really cool at the event app, or at the event itself. In the Rotunda Social Lounge, we're going to be dropping about 5 to 10 iBeacons in the space, which are Bluetooth sensors. And if you enable your location and allow push notifications, it's going to send you messages. And in addition to that, you'll be able to see anybody who's also in the area near you. So let's say you've been looking for a colleague and you are in the Rotunda. You can see if maybe they're there too, or maybe if you see somebody there who connects with you or has similar interests, you can make that connection digitally first before you do it physically. So that's a really helpful feature, and again, a total opt-in feature, opting in for location alerts and opting in for attendee lists opts you in for the Around Me section. In the social section of the app itself, you can see all of the different social handles that we have for the event. You can just bang on the hashtag for IBM Amplify, and it's going to appear, it's going to show and surface just a Twitter feed of all of the different IBM Amplify stuff happening by different speakers and different users. You can also follow the individual challenges, the individual Twitter accounts associated with the app. I did just notice on Twitter that it looks like we have a little bit of a mix-up, so we're going to be going through and fixing some of that stuff today, in addition to any of the blogs associated with it. So you can check all of the social information directly from the social information. And then in the activity stream, this is a really fun area of the app itself. You can actually post status updates that if you can imagine kind of a Facebook wall for the event, this is what it would be. So I could say, I'm so excited for IBM Amplify. And when I click done and publish, it'll appear in OneStream and people can like and comment it. One of the most popular features is people will post pictures from right in here. So at the general session, people will post pictures going on from there. During the El King concert, people will often post information right there. So that's kind of a nice little way to create a small social community that lives within the app. And we saw this really take off at IBM Interconnect 2016. So that's a basic overview of the event app itself. We will also have maps that appear for the event itself. We're working on integrating our PDF maps for the event. Those are going to the printer this week, so they will be updated hopefully within the next 5 business days. And then if you encounter any problems, you can click About This App, and then you can choose to send feedback. And that's the biggest way that you'll get support very quickly, is they can see what you're using, what version you're on, and see if they can replicate the problem that you have. In addition, any push notifications that you receive or get will appear right in this My Schedule section of the inbox itself. The last thing I'd like to bring up is the conference details section of the app. This is where any of the conference guide information will appear. So anything about special events, registration, help desks, internet and wireless, consider this a pocket event guide for you in one place. Last thing I'd like to mention before we open it up for questions is that the app is available completely offline. So if you're flying in the air or if you're at the event and have dense network conditions, or maybe the internet gets a little overloaded, this can function and allow you to add sessions in a completely offline mode. The only caveat to that is that you cannot add labs until you get back online. So with that being said, I'm going to keep the line muted and open it up for questions. And I'm going to start with Dennis Menendez, who asked just a minute ago, how can I look up sponsors and what are they exhibiting within their booth? That's a fantastic question. So here in the menu, we're going to pull up the exhibitor section. And from there, we can actually search any exhibitor that we want. We can search by category. We can search by name. I know Infosys is an exhibitor. So if we search for Infosys, they should be added as an exhibitor right here, and we can see the Infosys information, their description, and if I want to visit their website, it can be right there. So that's all going to be found within the exhibitor section of the app, and I can search by any of the different sponsor levels, and I can see what they're adding to the conference itself. It also brings up their picture, which is a really nice kind of touch to it. So any exhibitor who included a picture will get their picture in that area. And you can use the free search bar to search for anything. So systems integrator. It can bring up anybody who is a systems integrator. Booth number is coming soon, Dennis. The question was what booth number they will be in. Booth numbers has been a little bit of a hot potato for the last few weeks, so we chose to hide booth numbers until we get a little closer to the event. There's going to be a passive update that comes into the app, which is going to surface booth numbers. We will also have an expo map that will have booth numbers associated with the map locations. We have a question from Denise asking about sponsored sessions. We do not have a specific sponsored session. We don't have a specific sponsored session filter, but you can search by the sponsor itself. Another question from Kathleen asking if there is a mapping function that gives direction to a session or function, and the answer to Amplify is no, we do not offer that for it, but if you stick around and come to Insight in 2016, we will have a mapping function coming. Kathleen asks a question on adding more than one session at the same time, and that is not something that we allow at this point. However, if at any point you want to override a session, you won't have to go through to remove it. You'll just go right into the schedule, and if you pick a conflicting session, you can choose to proceed and add it to your personal agenda and override that one. The other workaround you could do is you could add multiple events to your personal calendar as well if you wanted to keep your options open. We have one more question coming in from Kathleen asking, if a session or lab that requires registration is full, does it allow me to be waitlisted? And the answer to that question is yes. So if a session is full, you will be waitlisted for the session unless the waitlist becomes full. That's a lot of people, which means it's a very popular event. And just so you know, IBMers by default are waitlisted for sessions in order to allow customers to get first dibs on labs. What I've been told by the lab team is to make sure you still end up going to a session. If you're on a wait list, you can still go ahead and head to that session. If you get in early, there's a good chance that you'll still make your way in. Thank you for attending today's demo. If you have any questions, you can of course reach out to me. I am Ted Conroy, and we look forward to having you use this app for IBM Amplify 2016.